You ever notice how almost every week there's another headline that makes people say, "This feels like the end of the world"? Wars, economic panic, natural disasters, social division, technology changing faster than people can process it. And everywhere you look, people are asking the same question: are we living in the end times? But here's the crazy part. Over 2,000 years ago, Jesus described a sequence of events that sounds shockingly familiar to what's happening right now. And whether you're deeply religious or just curious, some of these predictions are impossible to ignore. And stay with me, because near the end of this video, I'm going to show you the one warning Jesus gave that almost nobody talks about. Yet it might be the most important sign of all. The conversation that changed everything. Most people don't realize this, but the famous end times prophecy started with a simple question. Jesus and his disciples were standing near the temple in Jerusalem. Massive stone buildings, one of the wonders of the ancient world. It looked permanent, untouchable. And then Jesus said something shocking. He told them the temple would one day be destroyed completely. Naturally, the disciples panicked and asked, "When will these things happen? And what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age?" That conversation became what we now know as Matthew 24, one of the most discussed passages in biblical end times prophecy. And this is where things get interesting. Jesus didn't start with dates. He didn't start with timelines. He started with deception. Do not be deceived. The first end times warning, the very first thing Jesus warned about, was false information. Think about that. Not earthquakes, not wars, not disasters. Deception. He said many would come claiming truth, misleading people, and creating confusion. Now compare that to today. We live in an age where information spreads instantly. Social media algorithms push outrage. Deepfakes blur reality. People don't even know what to trust anymore. And this next part might surprise you. The Bible never describes the end times as just physical chaos. It also describes mental and spiritual confusion. People become divided, angry, manipulated, distracted. In many ways, the battle for truth may be one of the biggest signs of the end times happening now. Wars, rumors of wars, and global fear. Then Jesus said something almost everyone recognizes. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars. Now obviously, wars have always existed. But Jesus described a world constantly consumed by conflict and fear. And today, it feels nonstop. Every week there's another international crisis, another threat, another headline warning about global instability. But here's the important detail many people miss. Jesus specifically said, "See that you are not alarmed." That's huge, because the point of biblical prophecy wasn't to create panic. It was to prepare people mentally and spiritually. And this is where most people make a mistake. They become obsessed with fear instead of understanding the message. The real focus wasn't destruction. It was awareness. The explosion of natural disasters. Jesus also talked about famines, earthquakes, and disasters increasing across the world. Now some skeptics argue disasters have always happened. And that's true. But what's different today is how global and interconnected everything feels. One earthquake affects supply chains worldwide. One drought impacts food prices globally. One pandemic changes the behavior of billions overnight. Humanity has never been this connected before. And because of technology, we witness disasters in real time. We carry global anxiety in our pockets every single day. But here's where things get even more fascinating. Jesus called these events birth pains, not the end itself, the beginning of something larger. Birth pains start slowly, then they increase in intensity and frequency. That analogy alone has made many people wonder whether current events fit the pattern Jesus described in Matthew 24. Why society feels more divided than ever. One of the lesser-known end-time signs Jesus mentioned was social breakdown. He said people would betray one another. Love would grow cold. Hatred would increase. And honestly, does that not describe modern culture? Families divided over politics. Friendships destroyed online. Constant outrage. Constant anger. People are more connected digitally than ever before, yet loneliness and division are exploding. Now this next part might surprise you. The Bible suggests the biggest danger in the end times isn't just external chaos. It's emotional numbness. People become desensitized. They stop caring, stop trusting, stop loving. And when Jesus said, "Love will grow cold," Many scholars believe he was describing a world where compassion slowly disappears under pressure and fear. That hits differently when you look around today. The rise of technology and global control. Now let's talk about the part that gets people really uncomfortable. Technology. The Bible describes systems of control, global influence, and the ability for entire populations to be monitored economically and socially. For centuries, people couldn't even imagine how that would be possible. Today, digital currencies, artificial intelligence, mass surveillance, facial recognition, algorithms tracking behavior. For the first time in human history, global systems capable of monitoring billions actually exist. Now, to be clear, technology itself isn't evil. But Jesus warned that power without wisdom becomes dangerous. And this is where many people feel uneasy. Because modern technology is advancing faster than human morality. We can build things faster than we can understand the consequences of them. And whether or not someone believes we're in the biblical end times, it's hard to deny the world is entering territory humanity has never experienced before. The gospel reaching the entire world, but not all the signs Jesus mentioned were negative. In fact, one of the most hopeful prophecies is happening right now. Jesus said the gospel would be preached to all nations before the end comes. Think about how impossible that sounded 2,000 years ago. Back then, communication was limited to walking, boats, and handwritten letters. Today, a single video can reach millions across continents instantly. People can access the Bible from remote villages on smartphones. Live streams spread messages globally in seconds. Translation technology allows teachings to cross language barriers faster than ever. And this is where things get interesting again. The same technology many fear may also be fulfilling one of the biggest biblical prophecies in history. That's a perspective most people never consider. Why nobody knows the exact time? Here's something important that often gets ignored in end times discussions. Jesus explicitly said, "No one knows the day or the hour." Not prophets, not influencers, not viral YouTube thumbnails. Nobody. And honestly, that statement changes everything. Because throughout history, countless people predicted exact dates for the end of the world, and every single one failed. Jesus never told people to obsess over dates. He told people to stay awake spiritually, to pay attention, to live wisely, to stay grounded. And this is where most internet discussions completely miss the point. The goal of end times prophecy was never fear-driven speculation. It was transformation. The one sign most people ignore. Remember earlier when I mentioned the warning almost nobody talks about? Here it is. Jesus compared the last days to the days of Noah. Now most people assume that means violence or corruption. But look deeper. In Noah's time, people were distracted, busy, consumed with normal life, eating, drinking, working, entertaining themselves, until suddenly everything changed. And that may be the most chilling warning of all. Not that the world becomes obviously evil overnight, but that people become spiritually asleep while major changes happen around them. Think about modern life. Constant scrolling, constant entertainment, constant distraction. People are overloaded with information, but starving for meaning. And maybe that's why so many viewers are searching for answers right now. Deep down, people feel something changing in the world. So, are we really living in the end times? Here's the honest answer. Nobody knows for certain. But many of the signs Jesus described in Matthew 24 undeniably resemble what we see today: global instability, deception, division, fear, technological transformation, worldwide communication. And whether these are the final days or simply another turning point in history, the message still matters. Because Jesus wasn't trying to scare people. He was trying to wake them up, to remind humanity that material things don't last forever, that truth matters, that how we live matters. And maybe that's the real reason these prophecies continue to resonate thousands of years later. Because every generation eventually realizes the world is more fragile than it seems. The story loop we opened at the beginning comes back to this. The most important sign may not be what's happening around us, but what's happening inside us. If this video helped you better understand what Jesus said about the end times, then you'll definitely want to watch the next video where we break down the mysterious prophecies in the book of Revelation and how they connect to today's world. And if you enjoy deep biblical mysteries explained in a clear, honest way, make sure you subscribe because we've got a lot more coming.